War was tearing the galaxy apart, but in the middle of the ruins, one human soldier did something no one expected. He gave his blood to save an alien girl's life, and what happened next would change both their worlds forever. Stay with me till the end because this story will shock you. If you love powerful HFY tales, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on the bell, because more stories like this are coming, and you don't want to miss them. The sky of Zayora burned with fire. Red trails of plasma cut through the darkness as human ships clashed with alien fleets above the poisoned clouds. The sound of explosions shook the ground, and the alien cities that once stood proud now collapsed into dust and ash. On the battlefield below, soldiers crawled through ruined streets, their breaths heavy with smoke. Among them was Captain Ryan, Hale, a human soldier who had fought in too many wars. His armor was torn, his left arm bleeding from a cut, but his eyes still burned with focus. He had one mission left: survive and protect whoever he could. The war was never supposed to be like this. The humans had come to negotiate. The Zeorians, tall and powerful with green luminous skin and silver hair, had once been allies. But something went wrong. A spark of betrayal. A single mistake turned into a massacre. Now, every step Ryan took felt like walking through the graveyard of a broken alliance. As he moved through the ruins, his boots splashed in blood and melted steel. He heard a faint sound, a voice, soft but desperate. His instincts told him to ignore it. The war zone was no place for hesitation, but his heart forced him forward. Inside a collapsed medical outpost, he found her. She was an alien woman, young, and breathtaking even in her broken state. Her green skin shimmered faintly under the flicker of dying lights. Her silver-white hair spread across the dirty floor like liquid moonlight. She lay on a shattered bed, her chest rising shallowly, her breaths weak and uneven. Wires and tubes hung loose around her as if the machines had given up on her life. Ryan froze. He had seen thousands of aliens fall in battle, but this was different. Something in her presence held him. Maybe it was the way her fingers twitched, as though still fighting for life. Maybe it was the way her eyes flickered half open for just a second, glowing with defiance even as death tried to claim her. Her lips moved, a whisper, broken but clear enough to strike his heart. "Help. Me." Ryan's chest tightened. His orders were clear. Humans save humans. The aliens were now enemies, no exceptions. But staring at her, he couldn't obey. Something deeper, then orders gripped him. He tore open his survival pack, searching desperately. He had medical kits, plasma cartridges, and rations, but nothing for her kind. The alien girl was bleeding from a wound across her ribs, and the green liquid that leaked from her body looked more like glowing fire than blood. Her pulse was fading. Ryan cursed under his breath. "Damn it, I don't even know what keeps you alive." Then he saw it. A broken IV line on the wall. An alien blood transfusion system. Empty. The fluid bag lay shattered on the floor. Without it, she would die within minutes. His mind raced. He had no alien supplies, but he had one thing: his own blood. He hesitated, his heart pounding like a drum. Human blood was toxic to most alien species. Or so they believed. No one had ever tried. It could kill her instantly. But if he did nothing, she would die anyway. Ryan pulled out his combat knife. His hand trembled as he cut a line across his arm, crimson blood flowing hot. He grabbed the tube and forced it into his vein, pushing his blood into the alien system. The seconds stretched like eternity. At first, her body shuddered violently, her glowing skin flashing as though rejecting the foreign blood. Ryan almost ripped the tube away. But then something changed. Her pulse steadied. The glow of her skin softened, becoming warmer, brighter. Her lips parted, a faint breath escaping her lungs. Her eyes fluttered open, silver and radiant. She looked at him not with hatred but with something unexplainable, shock, relief, and something deeper, almost ancient. "You..." Her voice was fragile, yet carried a weight he couldn't understand. "Your blood." Ryan pressed a hand on her wound, trying to hold it closed. Don't speak, just stay alive. But she shook her head weakly. Her hand, glowing faintly, reached up and touched his chest, just above his heart. The contact burned like fire, not painful, but powerful, as if their lives were being tied together by force. A strange warmth surged through Ryan's veins, crawling into his chest, then his mind. He felt dizzy, his vision blurring as if something inside her had reached into him. She whispered one final word before collapsing again into unconsciousness. Chosen. Ryan sat there in silence, his arm still bleeding into her, his heart racing with fear and confusion. He didn't know what he had done, he didn't know what it meant. All he knew was this: the war had just changed, and it had changed because of him. Far above, the battle still raged, but deep inside that ruined chamber, a secret was born. A human's blood had saved an alien life, and it would lead to something no one had ever imagined. The ruins of the medical chamber were silent except for the faint hum of broken machines. Ryan sat beside the alien girl, his body exhausted, his arms still wrapped with the blood-soaked tube. His vision blurred as he pressed his hand against the wound on her ribs, refusing to let go. He had fought through endless battles, but this was different. He wasn't fighting against an enemy, he was fighting against death itself. Hours passed. The explosions outside faded into the distance. Somewhere above, the war continued, but inside that room, time felt frozen. Ryan's eyes closed for a moment, only to snap open again at the sound of her breath. It was steady now, strong. The glow on her skin was brighter, spreading across her veins like liquid light. He pulled the tube away from his arm, sealing the wound with a strip of cloth. His muscles trembled with weakness, but his focus stayed on her. Slowly, the alien girl stirred. Her silver lashes fluttered open, revealing eyes that shimmered like pools of molten metal. They fixed on him with a strange intensity, and for the first time Ryan felt something he could not explain. It wasn't fear, it wasn't gratitude. It was deeper, as if she could see straight into his soul. She sat up weakly, her hand brushing over her chest where his blood had entered her body. Her voice was soft, broken yet filled with wonder. Human, your blood. It binds. Ryan frowned, unsure if she was delirious. I just did what I had to. You were dying, that's all. But, she shook her head. Her silver hair shimmered in the dim light as she whispered, No, it is more. My people. Our blood rejects all foreign life. Yet yours, it lives within me. Her hand trembled as she reached toward him. Ryan almost pulled away, but curiosity rooted him in place. When her fingers touched his wrist, he felt it. A pulse not his own, flowing through him. His heart skipped a beat. It was as if her body and his were no longer separate. A strange warmth circled through their veins, weaving them together like threads of the same fabric. Ryan swallowed hard, forcing himself to stay calm. Listen, you need rest. We're still in the middle of a war. You can explain later. But she shook her head again, her silver eyes piercing him. Later will be too late. You must know. You gave me life, but you also gave me more than that. You planted seed. Ryan stiffened. What do you mean? Her expression was a mix of awe and fear. She pressed a hand against her stomach, glowing, veins flickering faintly beneath her green skin. My body, it changes. It accepts you. This bond, it is not healing alone. It is creation. The words made Ryan's blood run cold. He had fought countless battles, but nothing had ever unsettled him like this. He stared at her, trying to find reason in a world that had lost all sense. His blood was human. Hers was alien. The very idea that his blood could not only heal her, but alter her, transform her, was impossible. And yet he could see the truth glowing beneath her skin. He stood abruptly, his boots scraping against the floor, No, that's not possible. You're confused. Your body's in shock. But even as he spoke, he knew denial was useless. Something was happening. He could feel it inside himself too. His heartbeat was not his alone anymore. It echoed, faint, but real, in sync with hers. The alien girl lowered her eyes, her voice trembling. You are part of me now, and I am part of you. This is what my people feared most. The union of human and Zaorian. She looked back at him, a strange sorrow in her gaze. They will kill us both if they learn the truth. Ryan's fists clenched at his sides. The war outside was already tearing both races apart, and now here he was, tangled in something that could ignite it even further. He should have walked away. He should have left her to die. But he couldn't. The moment her silver eyes met his, he knew he had crossed a line that no soldier could return from. He sat back down, his voice low and firm. Then we don't tell them. Not yet. First, we survive. You hear me? Whatever's happening, we'll figure it out. But right now we need to get out of this graveyard. The alien girl studied him for a long moment, as though weighing the truth of his words. Then she nodded, her voice a whisper. Survive. Together. Outside, the rumble of ships shook the walls again. Dust fell from the ceiling as Ryan grabbed his rifle and glanced at her. She was still weak, but there was a new fire in her eyes. A fire that wasn't there before his blood touched her veins. And as they prepared to step back into the war-torn streets, Ryan couldn't shake the feeling that the real battle was only beginning. Not against fleets or soldiers, but against fate itself. The streets of Zaora were no longer streets. They were broken veins of a dying world, filled with ash, fire, and the smell of burning stone. Ryan helped the alien girl walk, his arm wrapped around her shoulders as they moved through the shadows. Her steps were weak, but every time she stumbled, she forced herself upright again. Something inside her burned with new strength, and Ryan couldn't tell if it came from his blood or from her own will to survive. Above them, ships screamed across the sky, raining fire into the ruins. The ground shook with each impact, sending clouds of dust into the air. Ryan's instincts told him to keep moving, to find cover, to disappear, but every sound made his grip on the rifle tighten. He wasn't alone anymore. His life wasn't just his own. The alien girl glanced at him, her silver hair glowing faintly under the flames. Her voice was quiet, but it carried weight. They will come for me, Ryan frowned. Who? My people. They will sense the change. She touched her chest lightly where his blood now lived inside her veins. They will know what I carry, and they will never allow it. Ryan's jaw clenched. He had faced enemies before, but this was different. They weren't just fighting to win. They were fighting to erase her from existence, and by extension, him too. Suddenly, the night cracked open with a roar. From the skies, a squadron of Zaorian hunters descended, their armored suits glowing with green fire. They moved, like shadows with wings, their weapons humming with deadly energy. Ryan pulled her behind a crumbled wall. Down, he hissed. The alien girl pressed against the stone, her breath sharp and fast. Ryan peeked out, his soldier's eyes scanning. There were 6 of them, too many to face head-on. Their glowing armor marked them as elite, trackers, sent to finish what the battlefield couldn't. One of the hunters raised a scanning device. A pulse of light spread across the ruins like ripples in water. Ryan felt it pass over him, cold and invasive, like fingers crawling through his bones. The device hummed again, louder this time. The hunter's helmet turned directly toward their hiding place. They found us, she whispered. Ryan's mind raced. Running would get them killed. Staying hidden was no longer an option. He glanced at her, fragile, weak, but with a strange fire in her glowing eyes. Can you fight? He asked. She shook her head slowly. Not yet, but I can guide you. Her hand touched his wrist, and for a second he felt that warmth again, the bond pulsing between them, stronger now than before. Ryan nodded once. Then we move. He darted out from the wall, rifle raised. The hunters immediately fired, plasma bolts tearing through the ruins. Stone exploded around him as he pulled the trigger, sending bursts of fire into the night. His shot struck one hunter's chest, the armor glowing before shattering into sparks. The alien collapsed with a scream, green light spilling from the wound. The others roared and advanced, their weapons blazing. Ryan rolled across the ground, dragging the alien girl with him, their bodies pressed against shattered metal. "They're too many," he muttered. The alien girl's voice came sharp, almost commanding. "Trust me. Aim for their throats. The core is there." Ryan didn't question. He fired again, this time aiming for the small gap between armor plates. His bullet struck true, piercing through the glowing neck of another hunter. The alien convulsed before collapsing, sparks dying in the dust. The remaining 4 charged with fury. Ryan's rifle clicked. Empty. "Damn it," he growled, reaching for his combat knife. But before the hunters reached them, the alien girl lifted her hand. Her veins glowed brighter, and a surge of green light burst from her palm. The energy rippled outward like a wave, throwing the hunters back. They crashed against walls, their armor sparking, their movements slowed. Ryan stared at her, shocked. What was that? Her chest heaved, her face pale, but her eyes blazed. "Your blood. It fuels me. I shouldn't have this power, but I do." The hunters struggled back to their feet, snarling through their helmets. Ryan grabbed her hand, pulling her into the shadows. "Then let's use it to stay alive." They sprinted through the ruins, the hunters close behind. Plasma fire lit the night as walls crumbled around them. Ryan's lungs burned, but he didn't stop. He could feel her heartbeat pounding in sync with his own, the strange bond between them guiding his steps. At last, they reached an old tunnel entrance, half buried under rubble. Ryan shoved the debris aside and pushed her inside. The darkness swallowed them as the hunters' voices echoed above. The alien girl leaned against the tunnel wall, trembling but alive. Her silver eyes glowed faintly in the dark. "This bond, it changes everything. If they catch us, they won't just kill us. They'll use us to destroy your kind and mine." Ryan tightened his grip on his knife, the shadows pressing close around them. For the first time in his life, he wasn't just fighting for survival. He was fighting for something far more dangerous, a secret that could burn 2 worlds to ash. And deep inside, he knew the chase had only just begun. The tunnels stretched on like the veins of a buried beast, dark and silent except for the echoes of dripping water. Ryan led the alien girl deeper inside, his flashlight beam cutting through the dust. The air was cold, damp, and heavy, but at least it hid them from the hunters above. Every few steps, Ryan glanced back at her. She was weak, her breath shallow, but she refused to stop. Her glowing veins pulsed faintly under her green skin, proof that his blood still worked inside her. Proof that their fates were now tied together. After an hour of walking, they found a collapsed chamber where the ceiling had fallen halfway down. Ryan lowered her gently onto a slab of stone. He crouched beside her, checking her wound. It had closed, faster than any wound should, and now the glow of her skin seemed to spread outward like a living fire. "You're healing too fast," he muttered. Her silver eyes flickered open. "Because of you. Your blood. It changes everything. You don't understand what you've done." Ryan sat back against the wall, running a hand over his face. "Then explain it to me. Because right now, I don't know if I saved your life, or doomed us both." The girl studied him, her gaze soft but full of weight. "My people believe life must stay pure. No mixing of blood, no foreign bond. It is our law, older than the stars. What happened between us? It is forbidden. If they discover it, they will not stop until I am erased, and you—" She paused, her lips trembling. "You will be hunted until your last breath." Ryan exhaled slowly, his mind spinning. "And the humans? What do you think they'll do if they find out?" Her silence was the answer. He didn't need her words. He knew the truth. His commanders would see him as a traitor, A soldier who chose an alien over his mission. They would brand him dangerous, maybe even kill him before he could explain. The sound of boots against stone echoed suddenly through the tunnels. Ryan's body tensed, his rifle rising. Voices followed, sharp and metallic through helmets. Not alien hunters this time. Humans. Ryan's heart pounded. He recognized the voice of Sergeant Cole, a ruthless soldier from his unit. Cole was loyal to orders, nothing more. If he found Ryan with her, he would kill her without hesitation. Stay quiet, Ryan whispered to the alien girl. The humans drew closer, their flashlights piercing the darkness. Ryan pressed against the wall, holding his breath as shadows stretched. Across the stone, he had two choices: reveal himself and risk losing her, or fight his own people. The alien girl's hand trembled as she touched his arm. They cannot know. If they see me alive, the secret spreads. Ryan nodded slowly. He knew what he had to do. When Cole and his squad turned the corner, Ryan stepped out of the shadows, rifle lowered. "Sergeant," he said calmly. Cole froze, his eyes narrowing behind his helmet visor. "Hale, we thought you were dead." "Not dead," Ryan replied, "but the mission went bad. The aliens hit us hard. I barely made it out." Cole's eyes scanned the tunnel. "You're alone?" Ryan's chest tightened. His every instinct told him to protect her, to shield her from sight. "Yeah," he lied. "I've been crawling through rubble for hours. There's nothing down here but corpses." Cole studied him for a long moment. Then he barked an order to his men. "Search anyway." Ryan's grip tightened on his rifle. His heart pounded louder with every step the soldiers took toward the chamber where she lay hidden. He knew if they found her, it would end in blood. Just as one of the soldiers neared the chamber, an explosion shook the ground above. Dust and rocks rained from the ceiling. Cole cursed. "Damn it! The Zeorians are bombing again. We're pulling out." The squad retreated, their footsteps fading into the tunnel. Ryan exhaled hard, his hands shaking with relief. He returned to her side. She was sitting up now, her silver eyes full of something he hadn't seen before. Trust. "You lied for me," she whispered. Ryan gave a faint, tired smile. "I've done worse things," but inside his mind was heavy. The secret was already spreading. The humans knew he was alive. The aliens knew she had been taken. Both sides would soon be searching. She reached for his hand, her touch warm despite the cold air. "We cannot run forever. If the bond between us is revealed, it will not just destroy us. It will destroy the war. Both races will fear what we are becoming." Ryan looked at her, his jaw tight. "Then maybe it's not fear they should feel. Maybe it's hope." She tilted her head, her silver hair glowing faintly. "Hope or chaos? The line is thin." Above them, the ground shook again as the war raged on. Ryan knew their time was running out. Soon, someone would discover the truth. And when that happened, no tunnel, no shadow, no lie would be enough to protect them. The tunnels no longer felt safe. Every sound, every drop of water, every whisper of air pressed against Ryan's nerves like a blade. He walked in silence, his rifle ready, while the alien girl leaned against him, her steps slow but steady. The glow in her veins grew brighter each day, a living reminder of what he had done. Above ground, the war was spreading like fire. Human radios crackled with static-filled reports of alien strikes. Alien scouts combed the ruins for survivors. And both sides whispered of a strange rumor, a soldier who had crossed a line no one dared to cross. Ryan didn't need confirmation. He knew the hunt had begun. That night, they found shelter in a half-collapsed building. The ceiling was torn, open, stars burning through the smoke above. Ryan built a small fire with broken furniture, its flames weak but enough to push away the cold. He sat across from her, watching the light dance across her silver hair. Her voice was quiet, but every word carried weight. "They know. My people feel it. A bond like ours is not invisible. They will chase us until the stars die." Ryan leaned forward, his eyes fixed on hers. And the humans? She lowered her gaze. Your kind is afraid of anything they cannot control. If they learn, they will see you as corrupted. They will see me as a weapon. Neither of us will live. Ryan clenched his fists. He had fought wars for survival, for orders, for countries. But this war was different. He wasn't fighting for flags or commanders anymore. He was fighting for her, for the bond neither of them asked for, yet both of them now carried. A sound snapped his attention. Footsteps outside the ruin. Ryan blew out the fire instantly, pulling her into the shadows. Through the cracks in the wall, he saw them. A squad of human soldiers, flashlights sweeping the ruins. At their lead was Sergeant Cole. His voice echoed, sharp and cold. Spread out. Command wants Hale alive. If the alien's with him, kill her on sight. Ryan's heart pounded. The humans weren't guessing anymore. They knew. The alien girl looked at him, her silver eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Your own kind hunts you now. Ryan tightened his grip on his rifle. Then they'll have to catch me first. Cole's squad pushed deeper into the ruins, their lights cutting through shadows. Ryan guided her silently through a back wall where the stone had collapsed. They slipped into the night, moving across the rubble-strewn streets. But their escape didn't last long. From the opposite side, green fire cut through the smoke. Zeorian hunters. Their glowing armor lit up the ruins as they descended with inhuman speed. The two squads saw each other, and in seconds the air exploded with plasma fire. Caught between both sides, Ryan dragged her behind a shattered column. Bullets and plasma bolts ripped through the night, tearing stone into dust. She grabbed his arm, her voice trembling. They are not fighting each other. They are fighting for us. Ryan peeked out. She was right. Both humans and aliens ignored each other whenever possible. Their focus was singular. Find the pair who carried the bond. The battle surged closer. A soldier spotted Ryan shouting into his radio. Ryan fired back, dropping him with a shot to the chest. But the noise drew more. Plasma bolts scorched the stone above their heads. Move, Ryan barked, pulling her into the open. They sprinted across the ruins as both forces closed in. Explosions painted the night in fire. Their shadows stretched long against the crumbling walls. Ryan's lungs burned, but he didn't stop. Every step was survival. Every heartbeat was borrowed time. At last they crashed into an abandoned tower, its broken staircase leading upward into darkness. Ryan shoved her inside, slamming a steel door behind them. He pressed his back against it, his breath ragged. Outside, shouts and gunfire roared as the hunters from both sides swarmed the streets. Inside the tower, silence wrapped around them like a shroud. The alien girl leaned against the wall, her hand pressed to her chest. Her glowing veins pulsed faster now, almost alive. She whispered, more to herself than to him. The bond grows, too fast. Your blood. It awakens something I cannot control. Ryan turned to her, his voice sharp but steady. Then control it, because if you don't, they'll use it to tear us apart. Her eyes met his, silver flames burning inside them. You don't understand. This bond is not just survival, it is life itself. And if it continues, it will change everything. Ryan stared at her in the dim light, his pulse thundering in his ears. Outside, both humans and aliens were hunting them. Inside, a power neither of them understood was rising. For the first time, Ryan wondered if the real danger wasn't the armies above. It was the secret growing inside her, fueled by his blood. And if that secret came to light, it could end not just them, but the war itself. The abandoned tower groaned with every gust of wind, its broken walls trembling like the bones of a dying giant. Ryan stood near the shattered window, rifle clutched tight, eyes scanning the burning city below. Human soldiers and alien hunters moved through the ruins, their flashlights and glowing armor painting the night like predators circling. Prey, they weren't fighting each other anymore. They were hunting one thing, him and the alien girl. Behind him, she sat against the wall, her silver hair spilling over her shoulders, her glowing veins pulsing brighter with every minute. Her breaths were uneven, her hands pressed against her chest as though holding something inside. Ryan turned toward her, his jaw tight. "It's getting worse, isn't it?" She lifted her eyes, shimmering like liquid metal. "Your blood doesn't just keep me alive, it changes me. It grows inside me. Soon they will feel it, both humans and my people. The bond cannot stay hidden." Ryan paced the room, frustration burning in his chest. "So what do we do? Let them catch us? Let them use you like a weapon?" "No, I won't let that happen." Her voice was soft, but her words were sharp. "Then you must make a choice. Either protect me until the end, or end me now before they take me." The weight of her words cut through him like a blade. He froze, staring at her. Her glowing veins reflected in his eyes, and for the first time since the bond formed, Ryan felt fear not of death but of destiny. Outside, shouts grew louder. Boots struck against stone and plasma fire lit up the sky. They were closing in. Ryan knelt in front of her, his voice low and fierce. "Listen to me. I didn't fight through this war, bleed into your veins and save your life just to throw it away now. You're alive because of me, and if that means I carry this bond with you, then so be it. But no one, not humans, not your people, will decide what happens next. We will." Her silver eyes widened, a flicker of hope shining through her fear. She reached up, her hand trembling as it touched his cheek. The bond pulsed again, a warmth spreading between them, stronger than before. For a moment, the war outside felt distant, powerless. But then the steel door below groaned and shattered. Voices shouted up the staircase, human and alien both, storming the tower together. The hunters had found them. Ryan rose to his feet, his rifle raised, his body a shield between her and the chaos to come. "Stay behind me!" The first wave burst through the doorway. Armored soldiers, human and alien alike. They weren't allies, but they weren't enemies now either. They had one purpose: end the bond. Ryan fired, each shot cracking through the air. Hunters fell, sparks flying from broken armor, but more stormed in. Plasma bolts scorched the walls, bullets tore through stone, the tower itself shaking under the fury of both armies. The alien girl pressed her hands against the ground, her veins glowing brighter and brighter, until the entire room pulsed with green light. Ryan turned, shocked. "What are you doing?" Her voice was trembling but steady. "The bond, it grows too strong. If I release it, they cannot take us. But it may destroy everything." Ryan's heart hammered. He understood what she meant. The bond wasn't just life anymore, it was power, wild and uncontrollable. If she unleashed it, the entire tower, maybe the entire city, could burn. The armies closed in, their shouts echoing, their weapons ready. Ryan had seconds to decide. He grabbed her hand, his voice rough but certain. "Then we don't unleash it, not yet. We keep it, we carry it, let them fear us, let them hunt us, but we choose what it becomes, not them." Her silver eyes locked onto his, glowing with fire. "Together, together," he said firmly. The door crashed open again, more soldiers flooding in. But instead of fear, Ryan felt only clarity. He raised his rifle, his other hand still clutching hers. The bond surged through them both, filling their bodies with light, strength, and something far greater than either human or alien. The armies froze at the sight. For a moment, silence filled the tower. In that silence, both sides realized the same truth. The bond was no longer just a secret. It was a spark that could destroy or save. Ryan stared them down, his voice carrying through the chaos. "You want to kill us? Try. But understand this. The war you fight is already over. The future is here. And it begins with us." The soldiers hesitated, their weapons trembling. No one fired. No one moved. The glow from Ryan and the alien girl spread across the walls like dawn breaking in the ruins. For the first time, the battlefield was silent. And in that silence, the bond between Human and alien wasn't just survival anymore, it was hope. Dangerous, fragile, but alive.